6-week wait, the BKT United Rugby Championship is back, and here at the Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi in northern Italy, we hope to keep their playoff charge going against Zebre Parma, who have 6 players released by Gonzalo Quesada, as Luca Morisi captains Zebre Parma and brings experience to a young backline that includes Italian international wingers Pier Bruno and Simone Gessi, who has 11 tries to his name so far this season. Matteo Nocera is playing tight head, released from the Italian squad. Mohamed Hassa returns from injury. 7 Scotland players are involved for Edinburgh in an impressive looking lineup detailing their strength and depth. Jamie Ritchie skippers the side, having missed out on selection against France, and Hamish Watson pulls on an Edinburgh jersey for the 150th time for the club. Ali Price and Ben Healy return from Six Nations camp to form an international halfback partnership. Chris Dean starts on one wing, while having made his Scotland debut last week, Harry Patterson is on the opposite side. And on Watson's 150th appearance, he was the 11th player to reach that landmark, but the first as a back row player, further cementing his legendary status with the club, and he is the man to lead the side out at the Lanfranchi as we go into the second half of the season, and Edinburgh play in this tournament for the first time in 2024. Since defeating the Glasgow Warriors in front of almost 38,000 supporters at Scottish Gas Murrayfield. And you can't get much tighter than it is in that midfield spot in the URC. One slip, you can very easily drop out of the top 8. Zebre Parma have certainly shown improvements this season, getting that victory under their belt and breaking the long wait. City. Zebre Parma love to add a big scalp this evening, something Edinburgh look to avoid. They will fancy a win, and to win in style on their travels. Round 10 in the BKT United Rugby Championship, a Scots-Italian Shield clash between Zebre Parma and Edinburgh, and straight away it's the hosts that have the ball and get it as quickly as possible out to the danger man Simone Gessi. Driven into touch. Chris Patterson alongside me, and Chris, you know, these games can often be tricky mid-international tournament, but it must be heartening from an Edinburgh point of view to see just how strongly they can go into this.
Absolutely. Cohesion's really key. Obviously all the players have had a break and the international players are coming back, so finding cohesion early on in the game is really important, and Jamie Ritchie with a telling intervention immediately, spotting the danger with Simone Gessi, tackling him nice and high, dragging him into touch, forcing the turnover, and Edinburgh gets underway with their first line at Mall. Ali Price, another player looking to make a big impact, flips it away.
Certainly a few dropping back from Scotland duty, the likes of Price, Healy, Nell, Young, Ritchie, all looking to make an impression. Gervin Sebastian on the bench as well. So plenty of quality in the Edinburgh ranks for Sean Everett to call upon.
Take him back.
Price goes digging and sets that up for Glenn Young, yet to make an appearance in the Six Nations, but Scotland getting a little thinner on the ground in the second row stakes.
4 or 5 players of Edinburgh off their feet there, all the Zebre Parma players on their feet, so Edinburgh have to be cute with this chase. Good tackle, eventually it's Jamie Ritchie again involved in the action.
Gerono Priscantelli with the take, and now goes Leonard Krumov.
Didn't touch it.
On 10 this evening is Giovanni Montremauri. Priscantelli, who's got it now, has actually played half of his games at 10, but playing at full back, and this is Jesse, and he breaks through. He's got a man on his shoulder, but he might not need him. He does. And it's Zebre Parma that break out with the early score. Gonzalo Garcia, the scrum half, supporting the deadly Jesse. Bruno was alongside him, but he picked the right pass after breaking the line. Jesse, the architect, and Garcia, the scorer.
That's a brilliant score from Zebre. From the kick, counter-attack, they kept their width, they kept their shape, and they got the ball out wide to the danger man, Simone Jesse. 11 tries so far this season. That's him picking up the loose ball, beats one in Marshall Sykes, fights through two tackles of Patterson and Watsons, and then even here, when he feels cornered, he gets his hands free, he wins the space. Garcia supporting as all good nines do, but this is all about Simone Jesse. Look how elusive and powerful he is with the ball in hand, but he never stops moving and wriggling and finding space to get his hands free. The dive over in the corner. We said Edinburgh had to be cute from the kick chase, and the counter-attack has stung them by an excellent first try inside the opening 4 minutes from Garcia and for Zebre.
Giovanni Montemauri will take on the kicking duties. Any chance for the 7-point start for Zebre Parma. He has split the uprights there. It is the ideal opening 4 minutes from the Italian hosts.
Well, this season, we've said already, they're so much more of a threat, especially going forward. They're not shy of scoring tries in the top 6, I think, and for the tries scored, 27 tries scored so far. Where they have fallen down is their defence, but there's a piece of action. There's an example of what they can do with ball in hand. Lots of Zebre Parma players in support, fighting hard to find the space. It's an excellent start from the home side.
Stavile, the Argentine, making just his second start of the season. Now it's about backing it up. There have been plenty times this season that Zebre Parma have put themselves in position to get more victories. They did get themselves over the line that once against the Hollywood Bet Sharks in November. They followed that up with a draw against Cardiff. But they must feel like they're on the cusp of really that becoming more of a regular outcome.
Simone Jesse just showing his all-round skills as well, as they used there as a left foot kicking option, clearing up towards the 10-metre line. Good play, good exit.
Nicely done from Cherry to Young. Who's at full stretch now. Hamish Watson downed and driven backward by Davide Ruggeri. David Cherry. VP Nell onto Boan Fenter. Edinburgh finding some cohesion and looking for space out wide, and that's Lang that looks to chip it through, and the ball breaking up on the flank almost for Glenn Young, who was hanging about on the wing.
Much better defence from Zebre Parma. Already you can notice they're not putting too many players into the breakdown at all. They're almost trying to make the tackle and then bounce out as quick as possible. A flat line of defenders across the field, forcing James Lang right into the kicking option there, because Edinburgh didn't make any advantage over that blue wall on the Zebre defenders.
Yeah, 1 in, 1 out.
Certainly plenty of work to be done in that Zebre defence. That conceded 46 tries, 319 points in the URC this season. Richard Hodges and Aldo Birchall will be working ever so hard to try and fix that. And there's Jesse with the take from the high ball. Got there ahead of Ritchie. Garcia, Montemauri, kicks straight downfield.
Inside.
Fielded by Harry Patterson, moving out to the wing after playing at fullback for Scotland.
Outside, outside, outside.
And that was kicked from outside of the 22, which Montemauri was not in agreement with.
Yeah, put them on the line.
It's careless.
Zebre on the line.
Harry Patterson did the opposite on his own 22 just a moment ago. There's Jesse winning up, but the box kick from Garcia was too short, but he made it a good kick. And then Harry Patterson was really careful not to step out of 22, Montemauri less so. putting the ball straight out, and Edinburgh have the first attack in the opposition third.
And they'll be very keen to respond and just break that encouragement that Zebre have built up in these opening 7 minutes. But Edinburgh looking for a first score of their own. The take from Glenn Young at the line out, and the chance to keep this driving forward, but it has gone to deck now. Ali Price has to go digging. Young waits, again involved in this attack. We'll stay with the forwards who have been driven back once more. There's a bit of a scrap on for that ball. Price managed to win it and find Cherry, but the good ground that Edinburgh had made from the line-out drive has been cut short. Stabile fancied getting his hands on a turnover there, but Edinburgh protect it well enough, and Ritchie with a carry. Good step from Lang. Space closed off by Krumov, and the side entry from Edinburgh. They didn't manage to make much out of a promising position there.
More good defence from Zebre Parma this time. I think Edinburgh's initial Edinburgh's initial maul was actually made a bit of ground, but the ball was so slow off the back of it that allowed Zebra's defence to get up. And then interestingly, the closer Zebre get to line, the harder they're coming off that defensive line and flying up, trying to force errors from Edinburgh. Stabile was unlucky not to win a turnover just before that. Bianchi in with a low chop tackle. Bowen Venter driven back, and then coming in from the side, is that Marshall Sykes perhaps, just in its side because the tackle was dominant. Was driven over it, and it's a great start from the home side. They have the opening 10 minutes, exactly what they would have been looking for.
Luca Bigi taking aim, up goes Krumov. It was a good challenge from Young. Gonzalo Garcia. Clever play from the scrum half, but he has run out of space in the end.
He got low and hard anyway, but then he just got lifted up, didn't he? Here he goes, he dips the shoulder, he gets in underneath it. Bowen Venter, and to be fair, Ali Price, his opposite man. Good example of Edinburgh defenders working together. They both knew what the tactic was, wrap the ball up and try and carry Garcia out over the try line, working alongside each other rather than against each other. One trying to fail the player, the other trying to lift. Good play.
There's Bill Mata, another dominant carry from the Fijian.
Slow ball again for Edinburgh. Look at the players, the white jerseys off their feet, involved in this breakdown.
Price going to the option of the sky, but there's Garcia, the try scorer, taking it well, ducking under the first attempted tackle before he meets Hamish Watson. He's a bit harder to avoid. And the bouncing ball into touch.
Players falling.
I'm going to have another look at this tackle from Hamish Watson. Ben White was the referee, seen the players falling. There was a change in height, but more good play for Garcia, winning that aerial battle and then just making lots of yards up the left hand side, keeping the ball alive, looking for the support player. And Montemurri won't be too happy with his clearance kick, sliced a little bit, but it was good enough to find turf and drive Edinburgh back towards their own 22. We're going to have a look at this tackle, I wonder.
A couple of injuries here to Mohamed Hassan and Luca Bigi may just give the TMO the opportunity, should he want to just rock the pictures back to have a look at it. As said, we're getting the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben White has won the spot, and we did say that the attacking player was fallen.
Okay, boys.
Seems absolutely fine.
Water off, let's go. Water. Thanks, lads. Okay, boys.
Edinburgh in that huddle, they'll be trying to, and Sean Everett, the head coach, will be trying to find solutions to a disappointing opening 10 minutes, really.
Put him in the middle.
In terms of, you know,
time on.
Certainly conceding that first try, but then just being more effective with ball in hand. A lot of the possession have had to been slow to try and move a bit quicker, get into position quicker and threaten the defence more.
The line-out seems to be working well as Sykes goes up to claim Cherry's throw. Now Healy Looks high, and he's got chasers in Buffelli and Patterson. It's a wonderful take from the Argentine fullback. But the penalty will go the way of the hosts. Edinburgh holding on the floor.
It's a brilliant take, isn't it? I think it's Mazza on his birthday winning a turnover. Damian Mazza, the number 12. But what a take from Buffelli. Such a hard skill. It's also a really difficult skill when you're chasing the kick. Sometimes if you're coming towards the kick as a defensive player, it's easier to get up. You can read the flight of the ball better. But if you're moving in the same direction, the ball's effectively moving away from you, and you can still get up, dominate the space, win that ball in the air. It's brilliant play from Buffelli. The support player wasn't there quick enough, and Mazza got in and won a really good turnover.
Fabio Rosselli's side already more points than they finished with at the end of 18 games last season. It's a dummy throw from BG.
There's a hand of apology from BG.
Yeah, if the ball was over there, he didn't throw it
Sometimes
away.
whether it's a timing issue or getting his trigger wrong, it was a clear dummy, wasn't it? And when the move
Back
comes
10
forward,
lads, they're gonna take a kick.
yeah, I think he's fallen for his own team's line-out dummy. he's put his hand up, he's getting a bit confused. Obviously, I think the ball was to be dummied to the front, or the dummy jumped to the front and thrown over towards the tail, but he just got his lines wrong. BJ, experienced player, 48 caps for Italy, former Italian captain as well. Spiral bomb.
Backwards.
Plenty of height on that from Healy, and it's worked out nicely for Edinburgh. Well, just a few needless errors creeping into Edinburgh's play.
It's a clear tactic though, isn't it, to try and get Buffelli up. There he goes, up and again. Doesn't have to win the ball backwards towards Edinburgh. Then it must be a small knock on. It's Bowen Venter that picks it up. Small knock on in there, but when you have someone of that talent in the air,
Elbow.
it's good tactics to play to that strength and give them as many opportunities as possible to win the ball.
Just let it settle and have a look away. Crouch. Bind. Set. Ball's available immediately.
Edinburgh got the drive on, but Monty Maori still has it for Zebre. Time. It's Krumov.
He's coming back. Use it. He was digging for it, lads. Dig it.
Gonzalo Garcia, this time from the back of the ruck.
Good call.
Tester for Buffelli, but he shows his quality in stepping forward, taking that high ball, and it gives Edinburgh the opportunity to attack
Leave
with
it.
Matt Curry.
Your hands on the ground. Leave it.
Now Fenter, right in centre field. That one has gone loose, but illegally so, as
First you were fine, then it became a ruck and you played it again.
Zebre hands playing that backwards.
This man. No hands on the ground. Leave it alone.
Yes, that's Damian Mazza getting warning for the previous ruck because he jackled contest, but they'd lost his. He was cleared out and he was on the ground and he kept going after it, so you can't do that. And the penalty was given for a second attempt at winning possession in that jackal position, and it's I suppose the discipline that's hurting Zebre a little bit at the moment. There seem to be, although the Edinburgh scrum looked pretty solid at that last scrum, seems to be the concession of penalties that are allowing Edinburgh an opportunity to get back into this game. That'll frustrate Rosselli, the Zebre Parma coach.
Can the line out do some damage here for Edinburgh? Taken by Young. He and Sykes already
Stay.
getting well involved early on. Setting plays up for Edinburgh now. Cherry keeping the bulk of the forwards in front of him. Now looks to peel off.
Broken away. Tackle now, release.
Ruggeri
Tackle, release. No,
Gets
no.
him down. Edinburgh have got to within 7 or 8 metres of the line. Fenter. Price
Good, slow pass. pass.
Looks wider, out to Lang, who half breaks through, gets back to his feet. Edinburgh have got to fight on to get that out. Loud blast of the whistle.
Good drive from Edinburgh.
Is it English okay? Yeah.
Listen
When
to
I
Ben
say
Whitehouse.
no, it means no.
Yeah. I mean, there could have been 2 or 3 penalties against Zebre Parma. There obviously was one initially. And then Mohamed Hassa was slow to roll.
9 side entry,
After that, James Land break to side entry. It's the first penalty. And we just said, like, consecutive penalties against you can have a big impact on the game, and that's what Zebre Parma are facing at the moment. It's a good drive from Edinburgh. Splintered off just probably on his own a little bit. Bowen Venter allowed that. Allowed the opportunity for it there. Garcia to come in. You can't do that. You're only 2 metres from your own goal line. He was told no. It's just a lack of discipline.
So from closer range, will Edinburgh get this maul rolling forward again? Again, it's the route to Young, and now tucked under the arm of Cherry. Then comes Dean to help to add to the drive. Down goes Cherry, the ball goes loose, and it will be a Zebre Parma put in. They've survived that long spell of pressure from Edinburgh without giving any points up.
Doesn't look as if there's enough conviction from Edinburgh there. I think that there was almost a breakdown in communication. Once Zebre Parma stopped the initial drive, everybody stopped. Disappointed not to capitalise on that field position on the away side, but more good defence.
Vicious long throw from Vigi was accurate, and Garcia looks to get that away just before Young could influence it. Almost taken by Bruno, but he knocked on in the process, getting there ahead of Dean.
Outside.
Tough kick for Garcia at 9. Already you can see he's probably not got the longest boot, and he's almost in the shadow of his own post from the middle of the field, trying to find touch. Sometimes you're looking for your number 10 or your number 15 to have an option of a clearing kick, an option left or right. Bruno almost made it work. Getting his hand to it. But it's a tough kick for the 9 in the shadow of his own posts from the breakdown to try and clear up towards the 22. You'd rather see someone standing one out, kicking that long. Edinburgh's first scrum looked really strong. See how they fare here.
Space too close.
Scrum's been an area of strength all season for Edinburgh. Only lost 4 on their own ball.
WPNL loves it. I don't think I've ever seen him not smile in and around the scrum.
In his natural habitat.
Another one who missed the opening 2 rounds of Six Nations through injury, so Gregor Townsend, the national team, will all be delighted to see him back. Some game minutes in a vital part of the season.
Back following a neck injury.
Good contest.
That's a really solid platform. Price encouraged to go in and deliver this to Lang with the long pass. Now looping round as Healy. Didn't quite go according to plan for Edinburgh, but still with possession. And Mata to run over the top of Damiano Mazza. Now Watson. Healy gets it away to Venter, and they're just waiting for that slight gap to try and pierce a hole. Dean off his wing. Of course, more accustomed to playing in the midfield, and the centres, Chris Dean. This is Sykes. We're seeing a different Zebre Parma defensively at the moment, but Edinburgh might be able to cut them open here. And Mata tries to fling that one out.
There's energy and effort in the Zebre defence to not only make the tackle but bounce out. Look, they've only got one in there. It's Davila. Everyone else is on their feet, want to come forward and put Edinburgh under pressure. After the initial tackle, they're working so hard to get back onto their feet to create that wall.
Watson. Now Price. Thought he'd seen enough of a gap to try and snipe round the side. Watson goes in to play scrum half. Now along the back line, but still no way through. Edinburgh with persistence here, but not much punch.
Edinburgh have to be really direct, but make sure they have a support player close to the ball carrier. As Harry Patterson goes on the outside out, they have to get support there.
Well secured. The likes of Cherry, and now, well, the arm goes up. Penalty goes against Edinburgh. That was phase after phase, and they failed to really make any ground.
Well, the temptation is to try and outflank or get frustrated and try and move it further away from a defence at that, but actually...
I may be wrong, that's how I saw it. Do not ever swear at me like that again.
No.
You'll be on the touchline for 10 minutes.
Ben Whitehouse not happy with Christine.
Back you go, please, Jamie.
Yeah, Edinburgh almost got frustrated with what they were doing and then tried to outflank the Zebre defence, but sometimes against that flat wall you have to go directly and make sure you have support players directly in behind either for an offload or to secure that ball really quickly, generate quicker ball and try and find the space that way rather than almost playing in front of the solid wall of Zebre defence. Other options, a kick attack as well, which we see often now in most games you see, but a real confidence builder for Zebra's defence.
It was almost 20 minutes ago that Zebre got the opening score of this game. To Stavile at the front. Hooked on further by Krumov. And Edinburgh this time. They knew it was coming.
He's trying to win the ball, penalty Edinburgh.
Ritchie over the top of it.
Stay up.
Good play, Jamie Ritchie. It's one or two important tackles so far, but it just gives you a glimpse of how short a window there is for a defender player to get in and get over the top of the ball. He does it so well, Jamie Ritchie. Important win, important steal that.
How will his mindset have been in the last couple of weeks or so, just to get over that disappointment of not being involved in front? A player with such a good reputation, you almost think he doesn't have anything to prove, but he's not in the national team.
Well, that's the thing, and you see these games, these 8 minutes as an opportunity to, stake a claim again. I'll go quickly at the front. Dave Cherry's up the left wing.
Cherry and Price with the short 1-2. And it's Zebre Parma. Look at the celebrations at winning the penalty of their own.
The ball pull in clearly.
Garcia, he's been busy, the 9, hasn't he? He's actually Stavile managed to cover the front of the lineup pretty well. The trick play from Edinburgh and the Price back to Dave Cherry. That's something that will be identified through the week, potentially where there'll be a bit of yardage to make. But Stavile with a tackle, and then Garcia, as quick as a flash, in over the ball. The clear out from Edinburgh is not good enough. It's 2 players on 1. The one wins that Garcia gets underneath the clear out, holds on and wins the penalty. He's been busy, the number 9.
2 meters, 2.
Playing in his native Argentina, also in Colombia.
Nice 2 as well.
His name Zebre Parma, featured in 12 of the 13 games this season, so he's a regular fixture in the side. And PG
stay on, full arm,
motoring towards halfway.
Out now, 4.
And the scrum half looks to break off the side.
7's going to move.
Another penalty, and it's Hamish Watson this time, who's penalised.
7 slow to move, which helped you get the ball. You were fine,
direct carry from Ruggieri, isn't it? Again, Garcia just pulling strings, looking for a big run. That's a big collision. Ruggieri gets going forward, and although Bowen Venter comes in and attacks the ball, both Marshall Sykes and Hamish Watson are too slow to roll away. But that's a type of direct carry against a hard line of defence that can win you yards, that can get you just slightly on that front foot and then force error from the defence. And well, from 40 odd metres out, Zebre are going to have another shot at goal.
Well, with his first effort from the touchline, Giovanni Montemurri looked a lot better than a 62% strike rate kicker. See what he's got from distance to try to increase Zebre Parma's advantage. Test of range and accuracy, and he's got them both, and Zebre Parma have the extra 3 points.
Excellent strike, just like his first touchline conversion, straight down the middle. It's a warning for Edinburgh. And if you think of all the territory and pressure Edinburgh have had in the last maybe 15 minutes or so for no reward, Zebre Parma get down into the just inside Edinburgh half and take away 3 points. It's clinical play from the home side.
It's going all the way.
He gets us back underway, but that has gone long.
Yeah.
Poor error from Edinburgh. Ben Healy will know that. He doesn't need reminded. Just after conceding points, you want to try and get back in the game as quick as possible. So he'll now be asking his front five and his pack to help him out. A big scrum. The difficult thing with chasing a big effort in a scrum here is almost Edinburgh want this to be a stable scrum. If it swings up to the right or up to the left, it opens up an attacking opportunity for one side or the other. The Edinburgh backs will want this to be dead square. Garcia's looking for where the space is.
Looking at the backs, and he's just sensing where his opportunities may lie. Priscantelli can come up to first receiver on one side with Montemurri on the other.
What's the issue, lad? Okay. I understand maybe there's a bit of a height differential compared to this side, but we've got to get that gap between the two of you, okay? We have to get it. Okay. Let's go, boy. Hold that weight back.
Scrum setup, it has to be definite, precise fit. I think for the viewer it has to be quicker as well.
Set!
It's a long time to set a scrum.
It is to the right that they come, and Priscantelli.
That's on the ball, it's on the ball, on the ball.
Tackle release! Legal. He's looking for the rip as well, but the fullback held on to it well. Taken on by Nocera, one of the ones coming back from Italian camp, but he's managed to look after the ball.
Good defence by Ben Healy, obviously trying to make up for that error initially of the scrum. Him and James Lang lock up the ball and slow it down.
It bounced off the ball.
I actually thought Hamish Waters was maybe quite fortunate not to be penalised by having a rip as he's gone off his feet, but it wasn't. It was Ali Price.
On the chest, was it?
Who was still on his feet.
Are we injured or are we looking at the screen?
With the rip, although he was assist tackle, really shouldn't do that. Maybe Edinburgh have got away one there.
It hit the ball for me from my angle, but yeah, we do.
Anyway, there's just a bit of a discussion with the Zebre Parma players about that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you going to put it on the screen to look at? Or?
Looking at the initial tackle, I thought it was height. James
okay,
Lang.
so just my initial view before I start looking at the cameras. For me, all the force went through the ball live, which has caused that big sort of collision. But I'm happy to have a look if we've got something different, mate.
I'll just wait for Sean Everett and Edinburgh here. James Lang in particular. Edinburgh have had 7 yellow cards in the URC so far this season. What are your initial thoughts looking at that, Chris?
Okay, so I just got one question for you. Yeah, so I got one question first of all, mate. It's not quite clear on here. All I can see is on the ball. Have you got head contact on sort of your monitor? Yeah, sorry, Mace. Yeah. Have you got clear head contact with the shoulder? Yeah. I agree. For me, it's mainly through the ball, But if there is some head contact, I can't see it on you, but...
it's John Mason as the team.
Just let me know if you've got it,
I wonder if James Lang's actually hitting
no,
above
that's
the ball.
On the ball for me. Yeah, okay, Mace, so I'm going to say,
direct
for me,
contact with the head.
It's all through the ball, and it's just the whiplash effect from the ball, no foul play.
Because there's no direct contact with the head, it's not deemed to be foul play. It almost looks as if...
the ball. No, he tries to tackle and he bounces off the ball, which causes the whiplash effect. There's no foul play.
I think it's actually between the ball and the head, James Lang.
Knock on.
He has to be careful, and we often see this. It's the second tackler rather than the initial tackler that seems to be the biggest concern in terms of these high contacts. And there's not a lot of space to hit there. He has to try and get lower, but to go lower, he's almost trying to fight against tackling two players, Ben Healy and was it Priskin-Kelly with the ball.
Again, lads. Crouch.
So certainly a little bit lucky. Has to try and target that a little bit lower, certainly below the ball if possible. All clear in that instance.
Half an hour played. Edinburgh can celebrate a scrum of their own. Ali Price thought about the quick one, but instead it should be an opportunity for Ben Healy to gain some ground here.
Yeah, Bowenventure with the penalty in this near side to us on the chair up. The much taller man against him, got his feet too far back and then had to went down under pressure, much longer body position, and Bowenventure was really powerful, really strong. And wins a penalty. Other side to that.
That's the middle there, lads.
Another opportunity for Edinburgh. I wonder if they'll change the tactic. Once or twice they've tried to drive this. One similar there, another one closer. Will they go off the top and maybe try and shift the target here? Change the momentum of the game.
Young takes it now, Cherry, and they do go a little wider out to James Lang. Mata now is able to dip the shoulders into the tackle.
No advantage.
This is out Marshall Sykes for Jamie Ritchie.
Yeah, I got it. Good man.
VP Nell. Healy decides to change the point of attack, and gaps
Still
opening
advantage.
up perhaps. Almost for Buffelli.
No hands, 8.
Mata. The most threatening Edinburgh felt in this opening half. Watson.
Okay, we're just going to go back and forth here. Penalty, high tackle. No, it's okay.
For the Edinburgh penalty.
Yeah.
Luca Marisi wrapping the ball up there in that final carry from Hamish Watson, but there was penalty for a high tackle, I think right off the initial phase.
High tackle, number 2.
Moving it. Check, bring it down and shifting the target just stresses defence a little bit more, and then there was a high tackle. I think it was a Bill Mata initial phase, but actually Edinburgh
it was, for me,
did well to shift the point of attack up that right hand side again. A nice move between Ali Price and Ben Healy, almost getting Emiliano Buffelli away, but the Zebre defence is pretty staunch again. Edinburgh find it really hard to make them meaningful metres over the gain line in order to give them quick ball to build momentum. So the story of the first half for me is that the Zebre scored that wonderful try after 3 minutes through Garcia, but the defence has been excellent since then. I think this is a wise decision from Edinburgh to try and take 3 points.
I can see it on. It's just for conversions for some reason. It's just for conversions.
Conceded more than 100 points more than Edinburgh have this season.
Boys,
looked like that in the opening.
Boys, settle.
32 minutes. Chance for the first points for Edinburgh this evening. Ben Healy, the league's top point scorer, no problem for him. And Edinburgh are on the board at the Lanfranchi.
This man and a few others just tell him to stop.
Yeah, right decision for me to register the point from Ben Healy. So just shifting the ball, shifting the target a little bit from the source was a clever line-out call as well.
Stop! 1!
Well, in front of the kicker, I mean, it's something that you see at almost every kickoff, but very, very rarely penalised. But Ben White was right onto that.
It was quick.
Mohamed Hassa, I think, was the one that he'd picked out, who I mean, I don't have his 100-metre times in front of me, but I suspect he wouldn't be getting there first.
Well, he is in front, but I've seen other players a lot further in front, never been pulled back. Ben Whitehouse is right. I actually got a fright when he shouted stop. It is Mohamed Hassa, and we saw an error from the kick from Edinburgh. Now a basic error, a fundamental error from Zebre at the kick-off will frustrate them and their coaching staff. And Edinburgh just scoring those 3 points, if they can follow up with some more pressure off the back of that, will be really important going into the half-time break.
6 weeks since the last URC game for Edinburgh. There could well be a penalty coming here. That was a dominant scrum from the Edinburgh pack.
Yeah, patient first, wasn't it? Real patient. We've seen a good contest at scrum time, and then it was a secondary effort.
What was the picture you also
the Edinburgh pack holding their shape and then working as a unit, driving through and over the top of Zebre for the penalty. And from that error, it looks like Edinburgh are now going to have to have an opportunity to throw into a line out. In and around the Zebre 22, depending on where this kick goes.
He's done well with that. Put it into the 22.
It's just a net effect of that error at the kickoff, isn't it? You know, I think 10-0 Zebre, they concede 3 points, and then I think, right, how do we build on our 7-point advantage going in the final few minutes of the first half? Then they concede an error, concede a penalty, and now Edinburgh's tails are up, potentially scoring before half time.
Cherry to Young once more.
Stay.
Forwards look to keep it in their grasp. Mata just adding his weight to proceedings.
First stop, stay there, stay there.
Keeping this moving, Edinburgh.
Okay, use it now, use it.
Price encouraged to use it. Down
Yeah,
it goes.
away, good. Leave it.
Now Price has it, and he's got the pod of forwards waiting.
Leave.
Slow ball.
Came away on the blind side.
Does come to Ritchie. Lang. Price shot into Young, who had to be careful to avoid a teammate, and Ritchie was
bumped into his man,
just in front of him, and he bumped into him. So another attack comes to an end for Edinburgh, and that
and then it was a tackle.
3.5 minutes from half time.
Bumped into
frustrating one. Glenn Young just get the ball just in behind Jamie Ritchie, as Jamie Ritchie potentially got a little bit too flat. James Lang's made some inroads, just a little bit wider up the breakdown.
And then your player with the ball broke away to the blind side, it became a tackle, and then subsequently a ruck.
Jamie Ritchie just asking for some clarity from Ben Whitehouse as to what was happening at the Mall. But that's another opportunity for Edinburgh. And the Mall moving towards the Zebre-Parma line.
No, I'm great, that's right.
You're in that red zone that they haven't capitalised on. We spoke about Edinburgh's, I suppose, poor return for a lot of their good work they've done on the season so far. I think their third least try scored. They've only got one attacking bonus point from their 6 victories. Antonina said before, they're sitting in 6th, but with the same number of wins and the team in 3rd. And these bonus points can become really important. So we spoke about them being clinical beforehand, and it'll frustrate Edinburgh. They've not been as clinical as they'd want to be so far this evening.
One losing bonus point coming against Zebre's Italian rivals, Benetton at the Hive.
Okay. Crouch. Bind. Set. Move to the back. Move to the back.
This time it's Garcia who has the solid platform to set up the exit from, but not too much distance.
Poor kick from Prescantelli because he wasn't under a lot of pressure. Good scrum, Zebre-Parma's point of view. And the pass from Garcia was wide enough to mean the kick to touch. Although the kick was much closer to touch, which means You'd be looking for much more distance than that. No charge from Edinburgh, so we're disappointed not to make more yards, more metres. The Zebre Parma fullback.
Just gives Edinburgh some encouragement going into these last couple of minutes of the half. They look to cross the whitewash for the first time. They cancel out that early score. Looks like it's gone forward.
2 knock-ons.
Curry just couldn't quite take the ball with him.
Yeah,
And it's just got a little bit scrappy as we get towards the end of the half.
Yeah, lack of cohesion, isn't it? You can see the first, well, after the initial first play, it looked as if there was a call set. The timing got wrong. That's what Ali Price was looking for, I think. Bill Mata wasn't quite in the right position. Maybe one was too quick in position, one was too slow in position. It stopped the momentum, and then a nice line cut on the back, on the inside back from Matt Curry, but then spills the ball in contact. So we spoke about that cohesion. The players haven't been, not played together really since January. Some players have been obviously playing international rugby, training international rugby. Other players have had a break.
Crouch.
We've been back in training together for the last 2 weeks or so, but it does look as if there's a lack of cohesion that hopefully both teams will find a bit more success in the second half.
Pickup comes from Ruggieri on a wonderful offload as well. Storming forward when Matt's up. Miss pass. Morisi has to go and recover it, the captain.
Okay, leave him go. Thank you. Stay. Back feet. 8.
Just looking to
use it.
Close out the half.
Tackle immediate.
Taken on by Hassa. A couple more phases will do for Zebre if they can keep the ball clean enough.
Yeah, that's your player. Hold on.
Up it goes from Monty Chasers, but that's really well taken by Patterson.
Edinburgh should be really direct here, keep it really simple.
There's Watson, gets back to his feet. Can they get themselves into a scoring position? Healy. Now Ritchie. This is out Patterson for Dean. They haven't looked to quite have that cutting edge in attack though, Edinburgh. It's another one that goes astray. You can see a bit of frustration coming into their game as that one is knocked out. And that frustration just boiling over a little at the end of the half.
Boys.
Batista.
Hey.
Steve Early took exception to something Bill Mata did when Bill Mata was just trying to get through and Garcia the 9.
Tackled him.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it was. Sorry.
Mr. Healy, they'll apologise. He's okay, he's allowed to tackle.
Well, at the end of all that, it does come to the end. Just the one try, a wonderful try early on from Gonzalo Garcia, and at the break, it is Zebre Parma 10, Edinburgh Rugby 3.
You mean next? Gianluca? Yeah. Manuel? Yeah? Yeah, clear, mate. Happy?
Back underway at the Stadio Lanfranchi in Parma. A knock on from Bautista Stavile gives Edinburgh possession immediately on the opposition 22, looking to hit back early in this second half. Stavile it is that is able to get on that loose ball, pick it up for Zebre, and they do survive that untidy start to the second half from the hosts. There's Patterson.
Counter-ruck's 5. Leave it, 9-9.
Young. Edinburgh injured so much possession in that first half, possession and territory. They were dominant in those areas, but couldn't turn it into points, and that will be a penalty as well.
No matter.
The untidy start for both sides, actually. To the start, to the second half. Kick way too short from Ali Price, and then because the players are in around that 10-metre radius, they had to get back out the way. Some of them were able to, not all. And the first opportunity for points are going to come for the home side. It looked as if Edinburgh, when they won the kick-off back from Stafili's knock-on, that they were doing exactly what we spoke about, just being really more direct, going forward first, trying to assert some dominance, and then the space will create. But after two phases, Hamish Watson carried, and then Ben Healy carried, trying to force an offload, and which wasn't quite far enough in behind the defence, and then some of the counter-rucking thereafter from Zebre Parma was effective enough to slow Edinburgh's possession down. They've got field position now, they've got a chance at first points.
Giovanni Montemauri was 2 from 2 in that first half. Looking to restore the 10-point lead. The crowd and the ripple of applause will tell you that it's another 3 points to the Zebre cause. A nod of approval from the locals in Parma.
It's another excellent strike, isn't it? From 45 metres so out. It never looked like missing, right down the middle.
There's a player playing his first season at the pro level, signed from Rovigi over the summer.
Better kick that time from Healy, high and hanging, really close to the touchline, forcing Krumov to take it under pressure. Harry Patterson getting up, making it difficult for him to take that, and then the concerted effort to drive Krumov over the touchline and win the turnover. Much better that time from Edinburgh.
Looking for turnaround in fortunes here against the side they have lost to 4 times, 3 of those coming on Italian soil.
Okay, away. Thank you.
It's Cherry. Venter. Lang, he does well to get the pass away. There's Curry on his shoulder, the two Edinburgh centres combining nicely. Now Buffelli, direct approach from him.
Back.
Price, it's quicker ball. VP Nell steps back in. Edinburgh playing with advantage here.
Much better from Edinburgh. James Lang and then Emiliano Buffelli managed to get in behind that flat defensive line on a couple of occasions, and then it applies pressure on the Zebre defence. They come up, they're offside, they're coming up too quickly because Edinburgh have gotten in behind it. Buffelli carrying there, and then Ruggieri is offside from that carry. So it's much better when Edinburgh can find that shape, find that soft shoulder and get in behind that initial defensive line.
Okay. What would you like to do the penalty? Thank you. Stay.
Decision time for Edinburgh. They just take their time to make, but Jamie Ritchie was keen to inquire about some other goings on. There's Watson. Ben Whitehurst didn't want to hear it. Now Mata, 5 metres out for Edinburgh. Can they find their first try?
Back.
Watson's pick up now. Mata, and another advantage coming here. Penalties beginning to mount against Zebre Parma. Here goes Hamish Watson. Can't quite get the full distance, but is able to present the ball. Bill Mata from short range. Watson. And Sykes is there. Another 2 offside. Cherry in hand with Nell, and Venter goes for it, and I think he's got there. The try given. There will be a warning to come too.
Okay, so I'll just give you the number.
But Boan Venter
6 and 2.
gets over for the score in Edinburgh. They needed that, and they have delivered.
Well, it's patient in the end from Edinburgh, from the tap and go. They kept the ball for 7 or 8 phases, and that's what it took to get Boan Venter over the line. There he is, eventually getting underneath the last ditch defence. I think it's Hassa, and dropping the ball down. I thought at times it would be an easier way to score for Edinburgh, but they kept their patience. They've retained possession, and Boan Venter gets low and dots down the first try of the evening. And it's justification for turning down the opportunity to kick a goal, taking that tap penalty, and building the phases and getting the try.
Healy to add the extra 2. As Edinburgh improve their position at the start of this second half. A second try of the season for Boan Venter. Certainly important that they got that next score.
Yeah, and also, as you say, there was a warning as well to Luca Morisi to pass on to his team that there were, I think there was 3 penalty advantages in that period alone for Edinburgh. So the discipline will come under the watchful eye as well from Ben Whitehouse.
Jamie Ritchie just gives the nod to Harry Patterson that was his ball to take, but there's a contest for it, and it will be a Zebre put in at the scrum.
Just effort. It's just effort in and around the contact area.
Jamie, you commit one player. It's not my job to protect your ball. They're going through. So back you go. It's a scrum.
Ben Whitehouse telling Jamie Ritchie that, listen, if you want to protect your ball, put more players and don't rely on me. And it's just effort from Zebre Parma in and around the breakdown, whether it's the counter-rucking effort or whether it's just working really hard to try and disrupt the presentation, disrupt the flow of Edinburgh in and around that breakdown. But see again, it's just effort, and they've been rewarded with they put into a scrum in Edinburgh's 22. That man there has been at the heart of a lot of the effort. Stavili, Bautista Stavili. It's only his second start for Zebre. He's certainly dynamic and involved defensively and defensively.
Set.
Zebre with an opportunity to hit back themselves. Ruggeri helped on by Matza. Canali. Test for Edinburgh's defence now. And Zebre's attacks, they have been the clinical side thus far. Matza has got himself into trouble there.
You've pulled him off his feet.
And it was Jamie Ritchie
clearly on the ball,
in the perfect position to win the turnover.
It's another really important turnover, isn't it? Because that initial carry off the back of the scrum from Ruggeri got Zebre in behind, but look how quick Jamie Ritchie's on the ball, holding his body weight. He's fallen forward, but Ben Whitehouse has said that, I think it's Bianchi that's pulled him forward off his feet. So he was on the ball initially first, tried to get the left, and that was really important. He was actually involved in 1 or 2 tackles before that in that phase as well. So he's making tackles and making the telling turnover. And he'll show leadership from the captain.
One. Sub.
Ben Healy looks uncomfortable.
2 seconds, lads, just make it a sub. 1.
So change coming for Zebre Parma. Mohamed Hassa goes off, and Luca Rizzoli is the man to come on and replace him. Hassa is just back from injury himself, so look at Mata, hit that at pace. And Edinburgh need more of that.
The ball's too slow off the back of it though.
Use it, you're adding players.
I mean, he's made yards, but then I know they're planning to kick, but you can kick quickly as well.
Chasers there, knocked on by Bruno. And a good outcome for Edinburgh in the end.
Yeah, it's a good outcome, good kick from Ali Price, but
both going for the ball for me.
From Martin making so many yards over the game line. There he is trying to G everybody up as well, because it was, you know, that the longer you take to kick, even if you've planned to kick a box kick like that, and they get a really good kick that time from Ali Price, contestable, and they've won possession back, the longer you take to do it, the more time there is for Zebre to get set, to drop another player potentially in the backfield, to get a number of players running back in order to perhaps block the chaser coming through as well. So
Okay,
if these things can be executed as quick as possible, it's often to your advantage.
This time it's Matteo Nocera who requires some attention. Right shoulder.
Okay.
We're desperate to get into the scrum now, then, eh?
This
is a ward. Give the shoulder a bit swing, get into the front row. Tough old man.
Yeah, I thought so. He jumped from distance, the Zebre player. Okay, here we go, boys. Okay. No, fine.
Spoke a lot about the quality of the Zebre Parma defence in the first half and at half time, but they did have to make considerably more tackles and do considerably more defending than Edinburgh in that first half. And you just wonder if that will eventually tell. As you can see, 2 or 3 players getting some treatment, and again the time it's taken to get the ball back into play. Edinburgh want this ball and play it much quicker than this.
Number of tackles so far, Zebre Parma 105 to Edinburgh's 42.
Overlean,
It will play its part.
You must manage. You're way ahead of the other 2. He was way ahead. He stood up because there was too much pressure. Back you go, please. Luca, back you go, please. Scrum. As we spoke in the first half, you're tall, but you're way in front of these 2, and that's why there's a problem with you overleaning into him. He stood up because there was so much pressure there, okay? So we need to manage that better.
He's a big lad for a front row. Nocera.
You just have to hold the force. Quite right, it's a safety element that the timing and the setup has to be delivered diligently. And any one of those 26 front row players going early can cause a change in that cadence, change in that timing can make it dangerous.
Strong scrum coming from Edinburgh, and the penalty is on its way. Ali Price looking for some more immediate reward. Healy, oh, that's a nice short ball as well from the fly half. Lang. Now Ritchie. Boffelli and Patterson outside him, with Ritchie electing to look after the ball. Venter, the try scorer, just shuffles it on one more. Healy. There's Hamish Watson. We will go back for the penalty, all the way back to the scrum time.
Big scrum, impressive scrum from Edinburgh.
Both forward on both sides.
Yeah, it was charging forward, but again there's another nod to the Zebre defence. Even on penalty advantage, when Edinburgh going forward so aggressively at the scrum, they failed to really get in behind that defensive wall. I think you got to. It's a cohesive thing from Edinburgh's point of view. If 1 or 2 players try and take it upon themselves to be more direct and then end up being isolated, then it undermines the good work because you're probably turned over. So there has to be a cohesive togetherness about saying, listen, we need to go forward and we need to have support player in behind the ball really quickly to generate quick ball and apply some pressure on defence as WP gets his rest, Rory.
53 minutes from WP Nell, replaced by Jevon Sebastian.
In, you're 2-9, in. No, you're late with the numbers.
Cherry
We're not messing around.
to Sykes, now Mata. He's made some really important carries as the Fijian number 8. Cherry with the next one now. Ritchie. Edinburgh knocking at the door once more. Healy didn't want to take the risk of the pass, but it's Edinburgh who can apply pressure once more.
Space here, lads.
Young. Venter, 5 metres out, getting closer. It's left for Watson to pick up himself.
Good.
Sebastian just on.
Back, good.
Looking to head for the posts. Cherry will leave it. Now Watson, and that looks to have been knocked forward. It has.
First one was fine, second one was knocked off.
Zebre survive.
It looked initially better from Edinburgh from the first phase play. Bill Matt again, the catalyst for getting going forward. And it was 2 or 3 quick possessions, and it was a brilliant tackle from Nochera, the tight head prop on Ben Healy down the right hand side that slowed possession down, and then it's just an error from Hamish Watson. He'll put that behind him. It's another example of Edinburgh feeling they capitalise when we're so close to the line.
Sorting his socks out, Ben Bellicott is on at scrum half for Ali Price.
I'm calling it as I see it, Jamie. I'm calling it as I see it. If I was seeing what they're doing, I would penalise it, or what you're saying. For me, they're coming through the middle, and that's what I'm seeing.
Jimmy asking for some clarity around the disruption of the breakdown. From what I've seen, it just looks like Zebre are really aggressive in the counter ruck. Whether they're coming, slipping up the side of the ruck in an offside position, we'll have another look at, but it looks to me as if they're just winning the effort battle and fighting really hard to disrupt. Even if Edinburgh have possession, just disrupt it. This is another trend we're getting into in this game as well, like the time it's taken between stoppages to get everybody patched up and get this scrum set. Obviously the clock's off, but any stoppage seems to be elongated, and we've got long periods of time without a lot of action.
Much better gap. Yeah, much better. Not for me. Won the contest for me.
Still a tricky place to exit from.
Yeah. Even the post in the way. If you're, Garcia's the nine's passing back to someone, the post almost in the way. Zebre looking for a solid scrum here and potentially launching Ruggieri off the back of it. There he goes.
That's exactly what happens, and Ruggieri buys them some distance, some time, some space. Garcia hits it a little wider.
Use it, 9, you're adding players.
Now with far better position to make the clearance from. Gonzalo Garcia did get that away. It was touched in flight.
Onside for me.
Ruggieri did well from 8, didn't he?
Yeah.
Owen Vento's going to have a word now.
2, Luca. Sub.
Luca Bigi is
9 and 7. Is that
going off.
How can it take so long, though, Rory? I mean, we've got 2 water carriers, bibs, subs happening. Periods of non-play, if that makes sense.
Marco Manfredi on.
The picture I'm seeing at the moment is good, so just keep doing that.
Bowen Venter inquiring as
sorry, I didn't see this, man.
Matamua and Alessandro Fusco also join.
I like Fusco as a player. Scrum half, I must say, Garcia has been outstanding. Little number 9 there. He's obviously scored the opening try. He's been really busy, involved in almost everything. But Fusco's a quality operator at 9 as well. Much taller player. Really danger with ball in hand.
So Garcia off, and also Jacopo Bianchi makes way. Clearance from Monte Mauri. Taken by Dean. Tiptoed into Zebre territory before being sent backwards. Now Hamish Watson. Bellicott and Healy, whose game management is going to be so crucial for Edinburgh in the final quarter of this game. We are just approaching. Fusco delivers the pass out. His first involvement, finding Manfredi, who's another of the Six Nations released players. Not
both backwards,
as was intended. Bellicott, Venter, Healy. Lang has to cut back and chopped down well by Krumov. Oh, and the kick returned and into space. Boffelli will go back and should have time to deal with this, but Jesse gets a hold of the Argentine fullback, hauls him down, and the penalty goes Zebre's way.
Sealing off under pressure.
As Edinburgh seal off. Well, what an interesting passage of play.
Often happens when the team who are having to retreat to get back to then scramble to win possession. They take the shortcut and in from the side. Jamie Ritchie looks actually okay there, but the chase was industrious from Zebre Parma. Brilliant kick from, well, catch and kick from Krumov, the second row. He caught the kick from Velikot flush and then within one step sent it downfield, turned Edinburgh, and then the chase could have been quicker from Zebre Parma, but they were all together, they hunted together and they forced that penalty. It's a big moment in the game.
Well, and you think from Edinburgh, not that long ago, being on Zebre Parma's line, Hamish Watson knocked on. Edinburgh getting no points again from another trip to the red zone, and then Zebre Parma have only been in Edinburgh territory for a matter of seconds, and their reward is a further 3 points. 6-point game.
Excellent kicker, Monty Mowry. But again, it's just effort from the kick chase to not only get to the tackle. It was Jay-Z with a tackle on Emiliano Buffelli, but then the numbers there from Zebre to force Edinburgh to dive off their feet, come in at the side. And I say, just one visit and they've taken away 3 points.
Stop.
Well, there were definitely a few in front of Ben Healy there on the chase. Harry Patterson was able to get there. I don't think he was one of them, but a few were held back. So sometimes this happens every now and again. Referees are given instructions to cut down on just little errors that the players are making. They should be being picked up on. But that's incredible, from 30% possession.
It was under a boot. It was under boot.
And the territories, I mean, possibly even more in Edinburgh's favour.
Yeah, it was just that clinical try within 2 minutes, and then 2 or 3 penalties from literally seconds of possession and territory. It's a great reward.
Yeah, 4.
This time Fusco gets it away. Bowen Venter, can he falls for that slight dummy? You're not meant to dummy. But Fusco gets away with it and clears to touch, and Edinburgh can attack again.
Giovanni Licata is on, and also Dylan DeLeo.
Slow again from Edinburgh, allowing Zebre to come forward, get organised and come forward.
He makes it back inside, but Matt Curry is driven backwards in the tackle. He's rather reluctantly getting back to his feet. It's an Edinburgh concession of the penalty. Was it Sebastian coming in at the wrong angle?
Yeah. Potentially Bill Mata again trying to get Edinburgh go forward. It's probably Connor Boyle, isn't it? Yeah, he's going over. Dylan DeLew coming in to try and poach, gets wiped out from the side. But it's just some of the possession for Edinburgh. I keep saying it's just too slow. Excellent defence yet again, and you can see the confidence building in the Zebre Parma side. Just every defensive set, they get another reward, and it builds more confidence, more physicality. Their discipline's improved to, certainly long periods in the first half where they were conceding too many penalties. So they're in control of this game.
Manfredi does hit his man.
Stay.
Now the Maul can get going. They would love to score next, Zebre Parma, just to get beyond a converted try. But it's Edinburgh's put in.
Zebre will be frustrated at that, because they actually, unless it was a ploy from Edinburgh to allow concede the yardage, and then as the Maul went down, just obviously stopped Zebre Parma from playing it, but it felt as if the Zebre Maul was moving forward far too quickly from Edinburgh's point of view. It looked like quite a simple drive, and they'll be frustrated not to have been able to deliver the ball when it was going forward. Perhaps Edinburgh was all part of the plan. Fool's gold, soak them in and force a turnover.
Okay, seconds. Crouch.
This is a big final quarter for Edinburgh. They look to
Set.
turn a 6-point deficit around on foreign soil.
Reset. I didn't see what happened that side, you just seen it collapse in. And my side collapsed in as well, so we'll just reset.
Well, Rizzoli, and the loose head, look at Rizzoli, the loose head, number 17 for Zebre Parma, as part of the Six Nations squad, and he looked really powerful there. He was got underneath Jervin Sebastian's bind. See that Jervin Sebastian nearest us, and his right wrist taped up. He has to try and grab the back of the shirt. That's it. That's much better. Good scrum.
Pressure coming on, but Mata is there to make the pick up. Fusco defending well. Again, it just takes a long time for the ball to come to the back of that ruck for Velicott to launch it clear. There's JC, and taken out in the air. And could there be further punishment here? There is going to be a yellow card for Harry Patterson, who will offer his apologies to Simone JC, but I don't think the Italians want to hear it.
Yeah, I think he took off. Actually, there was a coming together between him and one of the Zebre players before it, but it's just out of control. Harry Patterson. JC's lucky. I think he lands in the back of one of his own players. Oh, he was actually really lucky that he comes back down on the top of Harry Patterson. Harry Patterson here, I think he runs as it Fusco, he pushes out the way, then loses his bearings, and then he's just out of control. JC does wonderful well, he's brave in the air, but Harry Patterson has to slow his feet, survey the situation a bit more clearly, and try not to be as rash as that. Good take by JC again. He's such an all-round player under extreme pressure. Quite rightly in the sin bin.
Can Giovanni Montemari just increase that punishment?
Missed, yeah.
And he has just missed it, the first unsuccessful kick of his evening, so it stays at a 6-point game, but 15 minutes to go. Edinburgh, a man light.
On the ball.
I'm sure the DJ got the memo of the missed penalty. It's an important one though. Obviously keeps that score within a converted try.
Edinburgh are in a real game here. Going to come from behind. Real test of their character. Forward comes Buffelli. He's been strong at that all night, as you would expect from a man of such quality. Healy.
Good contest.
Forward comes Bruno. And then Licata has been knocked forward though.
You just got a hand with Johnny Whitty on the inside.
Is it Mark Curry? It's now picked up a bump as he went up to try and contest that ball.
Yeah, you were good if the player was quicker. Number?
Yeah, there's Montemurri coming forward, catching the back up. Mark Curry. I think that's a reasonable option from Ben Healy. Obviously still a 6-point game, and Edinburgh's possession's been slow, and if you're overplaying in front of a confident defence, you can give away penalties like we've seen. So to go to the air, to have a genuine contestable kick when you've got the quality that Edinburgh have in the air, I think it's a reasonable tactic. They've got the reward and won the scrum. Obviously without Harry Patterson in the field as well, you have to be cute about how you attack.
Ricardo Genovese coming on into the front. It's a very, very young front row that Zebre have on the park. 20, 21 and 21. And also Dylan DeLeo, just 22 behind him.
Okay, time back on.
Edinburgh look to attack the left-hand side of the scrum if they can get the scrum where they want it. Obviously, Harry Patterson, the right wing's in the sin bin. So that short side, that left-hand side of the scrum, Edinburgh might look to flood down that channel and try and get some success down there. So Alexandra Fusco, the scrum half, will have to be really aware of that right-hand side of the scrum. He is.
Use it, Ben.
Bellicott encouraged to find that ball to Healy.
Good contest, play on.
Got it again.
Boffelli once more gets Edinburgh into a really dangerous position. An advantage coming here. Healy and Cherry knocks on. They will go back for the penalty.
It's just a super skill, isn't it? I mean, Liana Boffelli is so good in the air. The kick has to be accurate as well, and it was from Ben Healy. But his presence in the air, whether it's in the defensive mode or an offensive mode, it's so valuable. As Dylan DeLue's penalised for not rolling away quick enough after making the tackle. We thought Edinburgh might attack the left-hand side. They didn't. They brought Boffelli up to the right wing and just said, go and chase that.
Ben Healy will pop that one just outside.
Big moment in the game, this, Rory. Really big moment for Edinburgh and Zebre. We've had limited success at this maul. The 2 or 3 attempts I've had in the first half. But Edinburgh
19, stop.
Have to be clinical here.
They haven't led yet in the game. 14 men of Edinburgh. To the back 15. It goes for Ritchie. Now piling round come the forwards.
23 out, good.
Cherry in there. Help coming from Venter. Down it goes and under the post for the 7 points. Edinburgh lead for the first time at the Stadio Lanfranchi. Oh, he said it was a big moment. That could not have gone better. There's a yellow card as well, and it looks like Dylan DeLue who will head off, and it will be 14 against 14. That's a huge momentum swing.
Big momentum, and much better delivery of the line out right to the tail, so it makes it harder for Zebre to defend. And then we can't see from that angle, DeLue 19 dragging it down. I felt as if the maul was moving sideways more than forward. It was certainly dominant. We'll listen to Ben Whitehouse now.
And Captain,
is he going to?
Captain.
Sure he's going to clear up.
I don't really know what went on, man. I was yellow carding that player for collapsing the maul. I mean, I heard him calling your player stuff, your player offering him out. We can't have it. We can't have that, yeah? So let's just have a look at the place, calm down, and we'll get going again once this player's up, yeah?
I think.
Yeah, you know, Captain, just to answer the question of your players, you can't take it quick after a penalty try, okay?
Yeah, I think Zebre would try to take the quick kick-off to catch Edinburgh out, and it obviously caused a bit of frustration somebody there. Yeah, Edinburgh much better delivery of the throw right to the line. It was dominant maul. It started to move sideways rather than forward, but it was obviously a clear infringement from DeLue to concede the penalty try and the yellow card. So we're 14 aside and moving into the final 10 minutes. It's the first time Edinburgh have been ahead.
Still good to go, and a huge final 11 minutes here. 14 against 14, a 1-point game.
They've pulled him over. Your players pulled him off his feet. Use it, 21.
Bellicott. Safety of the boot. Forward comes Priscantelli. Fusco. The supporters not happy with the Edinburgh player on the wrong side, but Ben Whitehouse saw no wrong. I'm afraid he does manage to find his captain in Morisi.
So discipline becomes really important for both sides. Apparently either way you can make a big territorial advantage obviously and apply pressure.
Use it.
Slow possession as well for Zebre. Is it Fusco going to go to the air here?
Does the scrum half. taken and marked by Emiliano Buffelli. Mark Bennett is on for his 99th appearance for Edinburgh.
Yep, where that mark is at.
I think it was the opening 2 rounds of the season that Zebre were involved in games against Ulster here and then away to the Ospreys when they came so close, looking for that elusive win. It eventually came in round 4 here against the Sharks.
14.
Another change to come. It's Scott Gregory, the New Zealander, signed from the Highlanders over the summer. He replaced Pierre Bruno.
Good contest, back off blue.
It's Edinburgh that have it. After Stavile went for it, and a penalty goes Edinburgh's way, and a chance just to run the clock down, to play the game in the areas that they want to.
That's good reward for Glenn Young, getting up and contesting the throw, winning it just in front of Stavile. Both Venter does really well to take it one-handedly, and then there, the Jackal attempt hits the ground first. It's a quick goal from Ben Whitehouse. And we mentioned the penalties, how crucial the penalties are, especially in that middle third when there's 1 point on the scoreboard. You have to be, really clean in terms of your discipline, because the net effect is exactly this. Well, you've thrown the ball into your line out 40 metres further up the field 30 seconds ago. Now you're defending the line out 10 metres from your own line.
Cherry to Young. Now the hooker looks to attach himself to the back of it, and Cherry in control here for Edinburgh as they look for try number 3, and there's advantage coming for the visitors. That one goes down.
16 changed his bind, you rebound, yes.
Yeah, that's quite obvious, I think. Manfredi, he almost made the tackle in the maul. He got himself in a reasonably good position, Manfredi, the number 16, and then he just pulled I think it was Dave Cherry, his opposite number, that maybe potentially had the ball, and he almost tackled the ball carrier.
On the yellow, sorry, the earpiece said I can't hear. I'll find out. How long on the yellow card? 1 minute.
Just in these last 5 minutes or so, Edinburgh started to take control of this game. At one point, it did look like it was beginning to get away from them, but now Young sets up the maul. A try here might just do it for Edinburgh, and they rumble over, and Dave Cherry gets there for try number 3.
I saw it. I stepped back.
And Edinburgh have daylight now between themselves and Zebre Parma.
Glenn Young again winning it clean, no contest from Zebre at all, so they're packing down, ready for the drive, but it's well controlled by Dave Cherry, flanked by Conor Boyle and Bowen Venter. So they've got the initial bulk of the maul going forward there, and then just feeling that the lack of defence there on the right hand side of the maul, the sheer off as 3, and Dave Cherry scores, and it's a result of 3 consecutive penalties conceded by Zebre. Changes the complexion of the score completely from where we were 5 or 6 minutes ago. So good discipline, good patience from Edinburgh in the end, and now they've got their noses in front. They'll be thinking about potentially trying to score a 4th try, as well as bag the 4 points for the win.
So important one this for Healy. He squeezes it in at the far post. More than a converted try clear. Edinburgh will certainly be a lot happier with life now, but they will not be ready to relax just yet.
You see just Manfredi joining the maul, Stavile joining the maul, but they've joined directly in behind, and the threat was just to the right hand side for Edinburgh, the left hand side for Zebre. That was an easy finish for Cherry in the end.
5.5 minutes to go. Velicott. Chase on for Patterson, who is back amongst us. Back from his yellow card.
Fast enough. We're playing through.
Zoli. Richie goes for the rip. Loose pass that came from Matza. Fusco looks to work the short side.
No, he's not. For me, he was onside.
Much more effort at the breakdown from Edinburgh, making it difficult for Zebre to get quick ball or clean ball. Forcing Zebre to put extra numbers in, and then that compromises them elsewhere.
And forcing the error. Bennett keeps it alive for Cherry. They look to find some space out wide. It's all too untidy. We'll go back. And well, there may be some getting very excited, but this will not count for Batista Stavile.
Someone want to tell him?
I do so.
It's so low. Oh, that's right, yeah. I played short side, but for me, it was just onside.
Yes, Manfredi just knocking on at the pressure of three defenders, and then teams work on that turnover possession. It's from an Edinburgh perspective, or the team that wins that turnover, because there's the attacker so much out of shape, or the attack who concede the possession are so much out of shape. That's the opportunity to try and score, and Edinburgh will be disappointed they didn't quite clinically get that ball shifted to space quick enough.
Sorry, mate. Just be here, mate. Thanks, mate. So knocked on off Zebre.
Edinburgh should really be targeting this scrum in terms of, they're 8 points ahead, 4 minutes to go. Zebre are still down to 14 men. Chasing that fourth try, it could be vital. We spoke at the top of the show about how narrow or how tight the league is, with the 1 point or 1 win separating second from or third from 11.
Well, Edinburgh's lack of bonus points is damaging in terms of their position in the table. They've got the same record of 1-6, lost 3 as Glasgow Warriors, but their rivals along the M8 have 5 points more than them in the table, sitting up in third, whereas Edinburgh have got so much pressure from many teams behind them looking to target them and knock them out of the top 8. But first things first is to get the victory secured. It's a rare opportunity for Edinburgh to go for that bonus point as well.
It's a 7-man scrum from Zebre. So they've not added the extra player on. So there's potentially an advantage to be had there rather than the space out wide.
It does squirt loose out the back. Velicott has to kick it away, so 2.5 minutes to go. Zebre Palmer's ball. Good tackle coming in from Matt Curry. Alessandro Fusco puts boot to ball. And it was clean at the second attempt from Baffelli with no knock on, and the home crowd don't like it, but now it's with Scott Gregory and the change from Briscantelli. The knock on comes from Stavile. Velicott kicks it away, so that brings an end to the advantage. Zebre Palmer looking to go from deep. Montemauri. They might enjoy creating a bit of chaos here. It's Jesse. It's the pass inside as well. Jesse wants it once more. He's such a crucial player to them, and the penalty is coming. There's going to be another yellow card for Edinburgh. Javan Sebastian will head off. A bit of afters as well. Mark Bennett involved in this. Sebastian heads off. He wants to get involved in it as well.
Let's just watch. Go that side and watch. Clock off. Yeah, time off.
Benny is the clock off. It's a waste of time.
Jimmy, James, chill.
Oh, a little unnecessary, it seems.
Okay.
Maybe frustration on both parts.
Here?
21.
Yeah.
Taking the opening, bringing him out and on the ground.
And through it?
Not yet, just through him.
Okay.
At least was only pushing.
Okay.
And 21 starting the fight.
Okay, so it's pushing, shoving, and they dragged each other. Okay. Good. So there's no need to reverse because there's nothing worse than the original penalty. Quick word to the captains and move on. Your players pushing and shoving, their players pushing and shoving. We stick with the yellow card and penalty here.
Yeah, it's pointless. Edinburgh will be frustrated they didn't capitalise more from that turnover, and then we see the
penalties where I am.
I suppose another glimpse of what Zebre can do when they get Simone Jesi in the ball. I thought Priscantelli did well, Montemari did really well to keep the ball under pressure from Bill Mata. And from Edinburgh, really trying to manufacture situations to score a bonus point. Well, on the fourth try, and now concede a penalty, and it gives Zebre the opportunity to close within 7 with one final play remaining.
To put themselves into bonus point territory, but also crucially with one play left, and he's hooked that wide of target, and that should see an end to the Zebre Parma challenge.
Okay, 6.
So I mean, we have to say this has been a game where Edinburgh have been far from their best, but it takes character to win in situations like that, away from home, when it did look like the game was beginning to get away from it at times.
Yeah, it was 16-10, wasn't it? Probably going into the final quarter.
With a kick that was missed.
And a missed kick, they'd taken it to 19-10, so Edinburgh did the right thing. They played smart in that period. They'll be frustrated, I think, with the performance, but delighted to win on the road. But, yeah, I think that the discipline of Zebre let them down. It put Edinburgh in full position, and Edinburgh duly converted that. It looks like a victory on the road.
Edinburgh will be next up at home to the Ospreys before heading down to South Africa at the end of March. So there's a lot of international rugby between now and then. Stabile and Montemari not finished yet. They're still searching for their bonus point, and there's a penalty to come here for Zebre Parma, as down goes the ball.
Line on top of the roll, you got to roll.
Another penalty.
Yeah, Christine this time just lying on top of the ball, not moving away quick enough.
Zebre's next to away to Munster and at home to Leinster. They do head to the Sharks in the round of 16 in the Challenge Cup. Edinburgh leads by on.
I wonder if they'll consider a kick a goal for the losing bonus, but I don't see there's much point in that. But in terms of maybe better setting small goals to better the performance last year, I know they've already more points, but trying to better their cumulative tally, they're going to have a short goal.
Well, it won't be Giovanni Montemari that takes it, so I would have thought Geronimo Priscantelli will be the man to have a pop at goal here. Montemari has missed his last two, and they've proved crucial in the outcome of this game. It's Priscantelli for a point for Zebre Parma, and he does manage to get it. Well, Edinburgh have had to dig deep for that one. Not straightforward, and they trailed for long periods of that game, but in the final 12 minutes or so, their character, their class told, getting a penalty try before Dave Cherry went over to make things secure. But when Zebre Parma looked a big threat for long spells of that game after scoring early through scrum half Gonzalo Garcia, and there on Edinburgh were always chasing it, but the chase was successful for Sean Everett's side, and in the end they come away from Parma with the 4 points. Full-time score in Northern Italy: Zebre Parma 19, Edinburgh 24.